Hello and welcome to the Cloud Leadership Show. My name is Hanneke Pastoor and I'm the Director of Digital Growth and Channels here at Rapid Circle. And with me today is Donovan Boats, and we're going to have a great conversation, I'm pretty sure. But first, let me introduce you to the crowd.
Hi, Hanneke. Thank you very much. I'm Donovan. I'm originally from Namibia, and I'm currently a cloud consultant at Rapid Circle.
Very good. How long have you been here?
I've been here for about 2.5 years now.
Very good. And what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What's your specialty?
AVD mostly.
AVD, which
yeah.
stands for the people who don't
We
pay
use
attention.
it stands for Azure Virtual Desktop. It used to have a previous name of Windows Virtual Desktop. Microsoft decided to change it because they felt that it would only involve Windows machines, which is not correct.
All right. And why are we here today? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about a client that we have where we have implemented a lot of optimizations, automation as well. And we have also made it so that we can do cost saving, time saving, especially for the client by having the AVD more optimized and working as expected.
That sounds like something that people would definitely want to hear.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's start with telling us a bit more about the customer. Like what were we there for? What we were doing?
We were invited there to migrate their environment to Azure, build a complete landing zone, and among these were also the Azure Virtual Desktop that they currently have with Citrix. So we were invited to move that over and then move all their applications. They also have a few applications that they had on their local laptops, something that was very strong and powerful. And they wanted that to move to the AVD as well. And that's why Rapid Circle went there to help them with this migration.
And why did they want this? Like, what was their purpose? What did they try to achieve with moving to Azure?
So Azure is a very secure environment, and they wanted AVD more specifically as it was previously known as a zero trust workspace, which means it's very secure. And once you are on the AVD, you will then have access to more resources within the Azure environment behind a firewall, with Azure NetApp files or storage accounts. You have servers running that's also behind firewalls with a secure network that you can't access otherwise.
Okay, and if there's non-technical people listening like myself, what does this mean for the business? What do they get out of it?
So it means a lot of security. It means that you can more easily implement MFA. You also control how your resources get accessed. For example, you know that if a person doesn't have access to AVD, you know they can't access your resources in any way. So this is also variable for applications that requires a backend service on a server that's running, for example. This is also very useful, ironically, for very legacy apps where you can have it as running on the virtual machine users connect to. The user doesn't have to do anything to access the application. It's there, it's pre-configured, it's installed. The user just logs in and all the applications are there.
Okay, so if I work at that organization, I really do not notice a lot different, but I do notice that things are faster and easier to access.
Exactly. It's also more secure, like I previously mentioned. And the nice thing is the user doesn't really have to do anything regarding updates or regarding application configuration. Everything is done in moving parts behind the scenes. We set up everything, we build everything. So when the user signs out and signs back in, they get the new application. Everything is exactly as they left it, as they wanted. And yeah, the user has got zero downtime when doing patch cycles and updates.
Very good. So it's for the end user, it's super easy, and for the organization, it's more secure.
Yes, exactly.
So there's win-wins everywhere, basically.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, good. You were talking about behind the scenes, and I think that's where this case is explicitly interesting to discuss with you, because you worked on the behind the scenes part, and
Yes.
You have found something there that you wanted to update.
Yeah. So when I came on board, we were from managed services. We had a bunch of stuff to pick up. We had a bunch of tickets. We need to learn how the organization was working and how they would go about tickets and incidents. And while all this was going on, I had a look at the AVD as we were supposed to manage it as well. And I saw there was a lot of opportunity for optimizations. So we currently moved from how our project team has implemented it, into currently where someone as simple as, for example, you can simply just do a patch cycle or It's as simple as clicking a button, starting a pipeline. Automation takes care of everything. For the people that understand AVD a bit more, it takes over the drain mode. It also does the deployment, adds to the host pool. All these things done automatically. So this literally frees up your hands to take on other tasks or while focusing on different tickets.
How did you find out that this efficiency gain was available? How did you come up with this?
It's about the mindset where someone told me there's always room for improvement, no matter how much. And I started understanding how our project team was busy doing it. I mean, they did a fantastic job. Everything was working fine. They got signed off. So I think they were doing a fantastic job. But when I saw the environment, I was like, listen, there is something that needs to be improved here. And I saw a lot of the tasks were still being done manually. For example, taking an easy pick was swapping the drain mode. For those that do not know, if you add a machine to the host pool, it allows connections from the immediately. So this is even before Intune and all these other things have applied to the machine. This was problem number one. So we then went ahead, we then built an automation that would then take care of this. So whenever the machine gets added, it drain modes it already, even before the user has a chance to connect to the machine. So this gives time for Intune and other configurations to take place, and then give it obviously a restart. Everyone knows Windows needs restarts. And when we're ready, we run another automation that then takes the current production machines out of production, putting the new ones into production, and you as the user don't even notice this is happening in the back end. When you sign out and sign in, you get a new production machine. All your files and settings have moved with you. So it's automation for us, no impact for you. Again, win-win.
Yeah, so the project team had implemented this solution, and
Yes.
then you were in the managed services team
Correct.
working under the hood basically, and fixing tickets that came in potentially, but then seeing, hey, listen, here's opportunity for improvement. And then you just proactively picked it up and saw
Exactly.
that could be done.
Exactly. And with this, we also saw a decline in tickets as well, since users couldn't connect to, call it, unconfigured machines. So the impact to them was even less. And it was also more predictable. So we introduced a patch cycle where we would only do this process once a month. Any changes would have to be submitted beforehand. We implemented it, and everyone knows exactly what's happening, what's going to happen, and what to expect.
Yeah, good. So this shows us that we can always continuously improve the environments that we work in.
True. Exactly. Currently, the environment is running as smooth as it can, but again, there's still room for improvement. And there is a lot we can still do to make it even more better, even more optimized. But that also takes.
And what are things that we can think about that are next? Has that also to do with automating more, or do we have to look in a different direction?
I still believe that humans should be in control of automation. There's reasons why I personally believe that automation can run away with you. That's part of automation. It runs anonymously. And if you are not keeping the human factor in check, or the human factor present rather, it's just going to keep on running. And you are currently working with this company's production environment. This is their main source of income, what the people do on these AVDs. So you can't just let it run wild.
Yeah.
So that's why I personally believe you still need the human factor involved in the
You need a human in the loop.
in the process. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And when you look back on the process of you finding the optimization and implementing it, what was the biggest thing you learned in the process?
That's a good question. The biggest thing I learned that it's not something you can do alone. You can't just go in man alone, go hacking at the processes and procedures and think you're going to come out on top. There's other people that's being impacted by this, your colleagues, the clients, the people that work directly with it. So, and sometimes you just need a fresh pair of eyes to just like, hey, how about, did you think of this? Did you maybe try doing it this way instead of that way?
Challenge each other.
Exactly. And it's also nice to have People that say, hey, listen, I see you're stuck on this. Take a break, grab a beer, go do something,
Sounds good.
just to, get a fresh mind. And then you
Yeah.
can, when you're back the next day, you can just hack at the problem again and see how you can solve it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good takeaway. One that I'm also very interested in is what was the takeaway for the organization we're discussing? What did they gain from this optimization?
They actually gained a more predictable, optimized environment. So what I mean by that is when something like the AVD gets implemented, you get a lot of quick changes. For example, oh yeah, this app was missed, or hey, this app still needs configuration, can be added. So you're constantly building images, you're constantly doing deployments to production, although not officially production yet, but your turnover, so to say, is very quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you might do 4, 5, 6 images in a week, where this is not always acceptable for production environments. Production should always be left alone. It should not be touched unless needed or unless needed updating. And it should be a very predictable environment. And we introduced a process, like I mentioned previously, where once a month an image gets pushed. If your change or whatever is late, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait for the next month. This is not to us being uncomfortable or not in the mood to do the work. This is 100% about keeping the production environment as stable as we possibly can.
Yeah. And what's the gains from it? Like, can we make it tangible? What did the organization win from a bit time-wise or revenue-wise or production-wise or anything? Is there anything tangible that we can address?
Certainly. So there's quite a few we can look at. Example of those would be we actually won a lot of time back with automation. So we're looking at about 26 hours a month.
That's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, where we actually could spend that time on other tickets, other tasks, maybe having calls with the client. So it has a bit of a ripple effect as well. And with some other automation, which was introduced that deallocates machines that's not really doing anything, this has also affected their Azure bill. So you might imagine, all right, if you do a swap over, like we like to call, you can have double production because you have to move from the old environment to the old host to the new ones. But for that, we have also provisioned automation that would actually deallocate machines that's not doing anything, and then eventually have automation that just deletes it 24 hours later. So this also has their Azure bill in check. It has our time that we build to the client in check. So it's not just that we do it we do it for fun. Who am I kidding? But we also think of the client and how this might impact their bottom line as well.
Yeah, so that's good to hear. As in, it's effectively it saves time and it saves money.
Exactly.
By just automating a little piece of the work that. I make it very simple now, but yes.
I mean, for a lot of businesses, AVD is just a little piece. I mean, the part that we bring is actually more in depth, but we let on that it's just a little piece because.
Or the automation I meant that you built.
Yes,
is
exactly.
Just a little piece.
Exactly. So
a big cog system.
It is. I mean, AVD is their main production environment, but it's one of those ironic things where if you're not doing anything, it doesn't look like you're doing anything, it goes well. And if you're running constantly, then it's not doing well. It's one of those ironic
It's a little bit of
pictures.
A paradox.
Actually. So with this automation, it helped us to look like we're not doing a lot. But obviously, we need to keep the automation in check. We need to make sure that, again, the human factor, that if it ran, did it run successfully? Did it remove everything it was supposed to? Did it add everything it was supposed to?
So we kept the human in the loop?
Yes, definitely. I would not take the human factor out of it because, again, if you automate it from start to finish without a human, you're going to have an environment that's going to be so unreliable because, again, automation just runs. You can have all the checks you want, but if you don't have a human that checks it and confirms it, it's like talking to AI. Confirm your results.
Yeah, no, that sounds very smart. If we learn a lot right now, as in we know how this customer was helped by the tech that you put in place with the team. Do you see possibilities to replicate this elsewhere? Do you think there's more customers that would benefit from this solution?
Oh, yes, definitely. In the fact that there's a lot of Microsoft best practices that we follow, but there's a little gap in the knowledge, I would say, in the sense that it doesn't tell you practically how to go about your AVD. So, for example, there is best practices how to set up your AVD, how many people per machine. These kind of things are obviously documented. If you start working with AVD and you start having it as your production environment, those kind of things are not really documented. They can't exactly tell you, oh, okay, if you're having this kind of application or you're having that application. That doesn't necessarily get properly documented by Microsoft. It all comes down to your experience on the AVD, where you can actually effectively do your work on the AVD. That's the bottom line. And if we need to break a few Microsoft rules to get the client where they need to be, where it's optimized and cost effective, we'll do that, obviously within mean.
Yeah, of course. Well, don't let Microsoft hear this then. No, that's it. What if I were a customer that's thinking about moving to AVD? What would be your main advice?
Do it.
Do it. That's an easy one.
No, I
Where do
mean,
we start?
obviously, it's like, hey, should I ride my bike? Yes, obviously. That's always an easy answer to give. If you're a client, you want to look at AVD, I would first go and understand what it does. There's no point in running the AVD if it doesn't provide you any value. You need to keep in mind that if you have an Azure bill and you want to keep that as low as possible, then AVD is not your answer. You're paying for machines running, you're paying for your networking. All those things have an effect. What kind of size you're having on your machines, all those have an effect on your Azure bill. And if you want someone to manage that, that's also for your bill.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see value in, hey, listen, I need security. I have legacy apps that I need to configure and it's paying somewhere else that I need to configure, then I would say consider using AVD. We've also seen that transitioning to AVD might be some of a learning curve, although the concept is quite easy. You download Windows app, you open application, and you have your desktop. It's easier said than done. But it gets difficult when you start actually using it. You start using your applications where it's like, okay, on my local machine, I used to do this and this. Now I can't. How am I supposed to get my data? How do I use my local machine resources within the AVD? Stuff like that is sometimes difficult to set up. And that's why I say you need to consider if it's really going to bring value to your business or your company.
Is that just a technical question, or is that also a adoption question?
A bit of both, I would say. I mean, it's easy just throwing money at the problem. I mean, everyone can then build an AVD. You can get an AVD for 10 people if you really wish, but that's just a bit excessive. Adoption is different because now the user can take their work home. You know, they can depends on how the environment is set up, but you can actually go home, download the Windows app, log in with your Office credentials, and continue working if that's what you want. If you want your users to use your corporate device only for AVD, that's again conditional access policies that you set up.
Mm-hmm.
If you wish to not work after hours, again, it's going to save you money on your AVD resources, but it's also again a conditional access policy.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes a lot bigger than just AVD. I can put you down on AVD, and you can do whatever. But now patch cycling, updates, now my Teams doesn't work. Normal stuff. It's just on a different scale.
So it's not just about, again, implementing a platform, it's about optimizing it for the right use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we've covered a lot, but now I'm thinking we've said moving to AVD means a more secure environment for the organization, more predictable. It's easy for the user to just access. It's not difficult to just work on it. It's also potentially a saver, as in you can save on your Azure spend if you set it up the right way. It also means saving time if you automate it the right way, but that means also keeping the human in the loop to make sure that you do it correctly and it doesn't get out of control.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is that the benefit summarized really simply that you've just described to us about for moving to AVD and also looking at automating things the right way?
Yes, yeah, that's actually a very good summary that you gave. I still believe that doing this in the long run will definitely save you time and money because everything is moving to the cloud as we know. We have, like I mentioned previously, we have legacy apps that companies have taken to the AVD and it works perfectly fine. We also have storage. I'm now just trying to mention a bunch of things that I'm thinking of at the moment.
But what I'm hearing here is that that's what we do, right? We bring our customers to the cloud, we bring them to Azure, we bring them to AVD, and then we also take them on the journey of optimizing their environment as the environment changes and everything around it changes. And that's what you've been doing with your customer, and that's why they are now capable of saving 3 working days a month.
Yeah, exactly. And we also try to keep up with time, so to speak. So I know Microsoft has got a few features that they release, and what often happens is with other environments as well, not just the AVD, where it gets set up, it gets placed, it's working now in production, it's working fine. 3, 4, 5 months down the line, Microsoft has an update or a breaking feature that doesn't work anymore. And then you're going like, well, okay, how do we fix this? So we also try to keep that in check about new features coming in, stuff we can introduce to the clients and see if it's applicable to them. Again, there's no point in introducing something that makes damage. So it's not like just, okay, this is out, which is going to apply to everyone. That's not what we analyze the environment. We see if this is applicable, if this is beneficial for you. If it's not, we might mention it to you and be like, hey, we have this new feature. This is why we think it's not applicable to you. If you decide to go forward with it, sure, we'll do it. No problem.
So it's about adding value to our customers.
Exactly.
If it's not adding any value, then let's not do it.
Exactly. We're not here to just stumble upon or force the AVD on everyone and be like, okay, this is how you need to use it. This is now how you're going to use it. We work with you. We want to see, hey, how we can benefit you. And to add to that, we don't easily say no to challenges. We got asked to add very specific non-AVD supported applications to the AVD. And they're working just fine in production. So we are looking for a challenge. If you have a difficult app or something that you want to put on,
bring it to you because you'll make sure it works.
I mean, talking from our personal experience, we actually had a game on the AVD before. So that was quite an interesting challenge. But hey, if you can game on it, you can do anything else with it.
That sounds like a great finish for this podcast.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah.
Gaming on AVD.
Yeah.
Very innovative.
I mean,
well, we try to bring value to our customer, of course, but this is something. It's good to hear that a technical challenge is also fun for a team.
Yes, it is, and it also gives you some perspective on maybe looking outside of the box, taking the box, just throwing it away, and then just thinking of the problem and seeing, hey, this guy wants this. How can we best implement it? And we had a few customers that have really, really had a few strange requests, and then we were like, sure.
We'll do it.
We'll
make it work.
Was a bit of back and forth and yes and no kind of discussions, but at the end of the day, we got it work. Our clients are happy with AVD. They're using it in the current production environments. And we're continuously building a relationship with them where we're starting to understand their needs a bit more. We're also starting to understand what their business model is more like instead of understanding it on a piece of paper. We also try to bring updates where we can. And like I mentioned earlier, we walk with you through this journey and see what changes we can bring about, how to keep it stable and predictable.
Yeah. So we help our customer by really understanding their environment and bringing the new tech to them and applying it to their environment the right way.
Indeed. Microsoft is not done with the AVD. It's not a legacy thing. It's not the new AI, I get it, but it's also not something that's being left behind.
You still need something to operate your
AI on.
Yes,
exactly.
So we'll be there, and it's here to stay.
I hope so.
All right. I'm pretty sure you'll have plenty to do.
Looking forward to it.
Good.
Yeah, really am.
Good. Thank you for this. Really appreciate all your input on this podcast.
It's my pleasure. In case you haven't noticed, I like talking about it. I like implementing it. So
Very good. And you also like writing about it. So that brings me to, if you want to learn more about what we've discussed, there's a link to an article on our website where Donovan explains in a bit more detail what we've done at the customer. And if you are interested in understanding how this might be of use for your environment, there's also the option of booking a 30-minute call to see how we can automate your environment for you on your AVD. So that's it. Thank you for watching or listening. And until the next one on the Cloud Leadership Show.
thanks very much, guys.